First Teachers. My name is Amelia Joan Brown, and today I'm going to talk to you about something that we use in school called ZPD. When a child is assessed in our school, we are looking to see if they are at an emergent level, an expected level, or an exceeding level. By the end of the age group, we are expecting all children to be at an expected level for that age group. One of the things that we use is called the zone of proximal development, and it was created by a person named Vygotsky. And basically it means that a child is moving from their actual ability or development level to a potential ability or development level. And this means that they will be having some support or mentorship to move them through to the age and stage of development where they can do something differently. We use a lot of different techniques, and one of the things that we use is scaffolding, to getting children to understand that different categories fit into the same category, or different nouns fit into the same category. So if they've just learned about a dog and a cat and now they're learning about dinosaurs, they understand that that still fits into the category of animal, and we can talk about the different things that make that animal the same or different. And basically we are going to be using a lot of different techniques to help the child move from their actual to their potential. We use modeling, we use examples, we use hints and one-to-one guidance, and obviously we use visual aids, which can be everything from actual photographs to videos, etc. An example of how we do that is if a child is going to be learning to catch a ball, the first thing we're going to do is help them track the ball. So we're going to use something light or something that takes a little bit of time to drop, rather than a ball which is quick with gravity. So if it's chiffon, we're going to get them to track as we're dropping the chiffon from a height with their eyes, tracking it until they can catch it at eye level. The same thing will go for when the child is learning to throw and catch themselves. They're going to be taking the chiffon, throwing it up a little bit into the air and trying to catch it as it comes down. So we're getting them to track the line of sight with the object to be able to catch it at the time they need to catch it before it falls onto the floor. Then we can move on to an actual ball, starting with a big ball and then moving on to a small ball, getting the child to throw it a little bit in the air and then catch it, and then higher in the air and catch it, and finally then being able to throw it to someone else and catch it. So there are different stages, and actually mentoring the child and giving them support as they're going through the stages will move them from their actual ability, which might be not being able to catch, all the way to their potential, which is the potential to catch a small ball. Same with, for example, drawing squares. The first thing that you'll need to make sure is that a child can actually make a mark with a pen, pencil, crayon, or any sort of mark making utensil. Then making sure that the child can draw vertical lines and the child can draw horizontal lines. Getting the child to understand that once they've drawn the vertical line, to turn and draw a horizontal line, then to turn and draw a vertical line and turn and draw a horizontal line, talking about the four corners. And that is how you would support a child moving from actual not being able to draw a square to potential of drawing a square. The same thing goes with counting out objects. The first thing you'd have to do is making sure that the child is actually able to count in rote, so they can count from 1 to 10, then being able to understand that every single time they count a number, it means one object. So if you have 10 objects, being able to count out 10 objects while touching each object and saying the number, starting with a few objects, maybe 1 to 3, and then moving to 1 to 5, and then moving 1 to 8, and moving 1 to 10. So actually moving through the different ability stages, making sure that you're using a lot of open-ended questions. How did that happen? What do you think happened? How can we do it a little bit better the next time? Did you notice how we missed out the number 3? For example, that is the sort of thing that you'll be doing to support the child to move to their potential development. Usually a child's learning is through either discovering it themselves or through having some sort of a mentor. It doesn't have to be an adult, it doesn't have to be a teacher, it doesn't have to be a parent. A lot of times it can be a sibling or it can be a friend, but for a child to be able to move through the stages of learning and development, they have to either have something that triggers them to learn it themselves, or they have to have someone who will give them some sort of a clue as to how to get to the next stage of development. And that's how we do it in our school. I hope that is helpful. I hope that gives you some ideas of how to do that with your own child. Stay healthy, stay happy. See you next time.